The importance of novelty. Dear friends, I hope all of you have had an amazing day, and whenever you are reading, listening to this, you are in a state of openness and authenticity. As a certified sex therapist who specializes in relationships, there are 3 areas that need to be understood for relationships to be successful. The first 2 are pretty simple: communication and vulnerability. We need to be able to have open and honest communication with our partners, and being able to tap into vulnerability allows us the freedom of being our true, authentic selves. The third one is where people tend to struggle in grasping, and it is one of the main reasons why sexual energy does not get reignited in long-term relationships. I call this third area novelty, and it is truly more important than you may realize. From Helen Fisher to Esther Perel, the importance of novelty has been around since the beginning of couples therapy work. This concept is quite simple. As humans, we crave novelty. We love new, shiny things, and we want more of it each and every day. It is one of the reasons why we are buying new clothes, cars, or houses. It is one of the reasons we get bored and dye our hair or quit our job. We have learned that once something becomes old and stale, most of us tend to want to trade it in for another version. Of course, values and belief systems come into play here, and not everyone is swallowed up by the newness life can bring. But when it comes to relationships, most of us do fall into this trap, and it is one of the reasons why we tend to fail. There's a theory out there called the triangular theory of love. This is what I use to explain the concepts of novelty to clients. In this theory, we have 3 factors that influence love: passion, intimacy, and companionship. In the beginning of a relationship, passion is very high, while intimacy and companionship is very low. This makes sense, as we are just meeting someone new, and if we find connection on a physical level, we are going to want to engage with it as much as we can. Why? Well, most religions tell us that we can't have sex, so when it comes time to engaging with someone, we are like uncaged animals. Over time, the energy passion gives us gets sucked away by intimacy and companionship. Why? Well, building these other 2 areas involves vulnerability and connection. We start to see our partners as real human beings and not just sexual partners. We see them at their worst, grossest, and weakest. This is all great for emotional connection, intimacy, and companionship, but not great for passion. At some point, whether 6 months or 6 years, we see the inverse of what we started with. Passion is low, and intimacy and companionship are high. So what do we do? Well, there are a ton of options. Some people cheat to get some passion back, albeit elsewhere. Some people throw in the towel and start over. Some even open up their relationship. But most people sit and suffer. They start to believe the toxic notion that relationships require sacrifice, and this is just the sacrifice I have to make to stay in this partnership. Well, I'm here to tell you that that is absolutely not true. There are so many options for us all. Here are a few. 1. Recognize that your arousal is more responsive than spontaneous. This means that there are things that turn you on and turn you off. We want to make sure that we are understanding our accelerators and realize when we are hitting our brakes. 2. It is not cliche to spice things up. It is actually a requirement. What have you never tried that you were open to exploring? Have you ever used a blindfold? If not, use it. Also, for the love of God, sext with your partner. This creates anticipation, which is key for arousal. 3. Simply communicate about sex. One of the first things I learned as a sex therapist is that talking about sex can get people to want to have it. So whether you talk about the best time you two or more have ever had, or you are simply just exploring your accelerators, just do it. Talk about it. I promise it will help. Remember, novelty is going to fade. What we are trying to do is create something new and sustainable. Turn that antique into a collectible, something you take care of and protect. You are not going to break your relationship by trying something new. So get out there. You have my permission.